Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinex.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Feels empty here. You look, I see your mischievous.
Morning.
Rufai, we miss Rufai. How are you this morning? Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Well, I hope he gets better. Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. The Lagos State government on Wednesday declared its intention to demolish buildings without proper approval after a 90-day amnesty period. The announcement comes in the wake of the identification of 359 distressed buildings marked for demolition. According to the Lagos State Building Control Agency, the state government has notified owners about the demolition and has published notices in 3 national dailies. The move, they say, is to address safety concerns and uphold building regulation. Well, the decision has sparked a debate amongst residents, with some questioning the fairness of the demolition and others applauding the government's efforts to ensure safety. Well, in the meantime, following the demolition of structures in Mende, the 2023 Labour Party governorship candidate in Lagos State, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, has taken to social media to condemn the Lagos State government, alleging that after his assessment of the site, the buildings demolished were not on the right-of-way or in contravention, as reported by the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. Rhodes-Vivour, who is a master's degree holder in architecture from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the United States, went on to post drainage plans, which he says revealed several other buildings, including government offices and agencies, directly blocking the Bishop Abo-yade Cole Canal. He also claimed that the residents of Mende were not given notices before their buildings were demolished.
What we understand is that this space has been in existence for almost 20 years. All the documents, legal consents was gotten from the government, and they actually are not built on the canal. Their fence is not on the canal. Individually, they were given the bills for land use charge and all of that, but we were never notified about any of these things. I've probably been living here for over 15 years. If people have lived here for 15 years, Governor Fashola has seen this building, there was no problem. Governor Ambode has seen this building, there was no problem. They've gone to court, they've gotten rulings on this. How come for a government that claims continuity, why is it that for 15 years, the government has approved of this, and then all of a sudden another government comes and wants to destroy these things and not even give people enough notice to be able to get their things, and there is no consequence to the government for this kind of aberration? There have been no conversations about compensation. These people all have their legal titles, their global COO that has a governor's consent. So on what basis will this kind of violence be done against citizens?
All right, Aria, we took this story early this week, I believe, and, Rhodes-Vivour had posted a flurry of tweets on social media saying that he went to the site to, to talk to the residents. But, like he said in that video, he said residents were not informed. But we also discussed the fact that Tokunbo Wahab was here, and he said that he had, had conversations with the property owner. So it appears to be like some sort of, miscommunication somewhere. But, the Commissioner of Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, in a 16-point response to the allegations, said that the Lagos State government held a series of meetings and engagement with developers and landlords in the Mende area, detailing the encroachment with admission of contravention by the stakeholders. He further stated that the engagements ran into months and years, with owners of contravening structures pleading with the government to reduce the width of the right-of-way, adding that in 2021, the Lagos State government served property owners the first notice of removal, and a subsequent notice was served in November 2023. Over to you, Ayo.
All right. This is a very dicey situation because there's a human side to it. There's the human face to this, and there's also a legal side to it and the right thing to do. On the face of it, when you see heavy trucks demolishing properties, especially in light of today's current cost of living crisis and everything just going, terrible in terms of the economic situation of Nigerians, you want to be sympathetic to the owners. However, we know that Lagos has been plagued with challenges of flood, flash flooding, serious flooding situations. And part of the challenge of this has been that there's some structures that have been illegally put up on canal routes or built on canals in Lagos, thereby stopping the free flow of water and exacerbating the flooding challenges that we have in the state. According to the commissioner, they did meet with the residents. There are different stories. Some said they just gave them a few weeks' notice. Some said, yes, they spoke, but it wasn't conclusive. In other aspects, some said that what he had assured the people was different from the actions that were taken. So they said that there wouldn't be a lot of impact or the areas wouldn't be affected. And then they woke up to see that their homes were being demolished.
Yes.
The truth is that since, as Mr. Wahab had highlighted, about 2021, a long time ago, there's been a back and forth between the government and the residents of Mende, Maryland, and the need to demolish these buildings because they pose the risk to the environment in Lagos State. On that note, I agree. Yeah. Because things have to be done properly. And earlier on, I'd criticized the regulatory agency for allowing this to have gone on, even for those who gave permits to build, despite the fact they were building on canals.
Absolutely.
And that's quite unfortunate because people, some of them are innocent, they got the homes, they were not even aware. But of course, as Dr. Batu always say, ignorance of the law does not remove you from obeying the law. Finally, I would say something that Mr. Gbadebo of Rhodes-Vivour said. In Victoria Island here, he's absolutely correct. Bishop Abo-yade Cole, there are houses, buildings of rich and famous that are built on these canals. Why are they not giving the same treatment to those people? Yeah. Where there seems to be an inequality in this of law is where there is a big challenge. Yes. I don't know how this will end, but I want to say that I support the Lagos government in doing things right. Absolutely. However, there must be a compassionate face to doing this.
Yes, you're absolutely right. One of his tweets actually read that the Bishop Abo-yade Cole Canal System 137-3, most noteworthy are the ILRS offices that bordered by the Lagos State government agencies. Those are some of the buildings. But Dr. Batu, you know that back in 2022, the Lagos State government had threatened to demolish marked structures on drainage alignments in the Mende area of the state, where floods had wreaked havoc. At the time, the State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tunji Bello, had said it was regrettable that after several warnings, the residents of the areas had refused to move, but would rather resort to blackmail of having nowhere to relocate to. Over to you.
Okay. We've been on this subject. There are now two sides to the story. Yes. You have Tokunbo Wahab, the commissioner, listing 16 reasons why nobody should accuse the Lagos State government of being cruel. And then you have Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, who went to the Mende area to look at it and is supporting his arguments, his submissions with pictures. Now, what I find instructive here is that it will be difficult to accuse Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour of partisanship here because he's an architect. So he's talking about a subject that he knows something about, except that he can be faulted on the basic argument. I mean, he can read drawings, he can read whatever is available. But I think that on the whole, one, the point about timing, the hardship that people are going through, that's one big question. Two, the obligation of the government to also make sure that as we're entering the rainy season, we do not have aggravated crisis as a result of flooding, as a result of people blocking drainage channels. The challenge for government is to see how to strike a balance between enforcing the law and protecting the interest of the people. And I think it was in that regard that Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour said, okay, Fashola dealt with this same problem. Yes. He didn't demolish people's houses. Ambode dealt with this same problem. In fact, the problem was there even at the time of President Tinubu, when he was Governor Tinubu there. Absolutely. And he was more or less saying, why should this be a priority for your administration? I think the governor has responded in one of the interviews he granted that, look, anybody that contravenes the law, the building will be demolished. I think another commissioner, the commissioner for physical planning, has said that, in fact, going forward, any building they demolish, the person who contravenes the law will pay for the cost of the demolition. Now, yes. You see, all of those dimensions will make people very nervous and all of that. But all of this, enforcing the law, ensuring empathy, that's the word that Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour used. He said there should be empathy. Okay, all the points, we understand them. But I repeat the point I made the other time, that President Sanwo-Olu, in trying to, I said President Sanwo-Olu, I hope I'm not being prophetic. You never know, he may well become president of Nigeria. You know, but Governor Sanwo-Olu, you know, in juggling all the balls and striking the balance and all that, you know, should also think in terms of what he will be remembered for. Yeah. This was a point I made previously. It would be a disservice to himself, his talents, and the ability that he has demonstrated. For him, I repeat myself again, to be remembered as the demolition man. Yes. So I think, you know, a longer term view of it, you know, would be for the governor, you know, to think in terms of how he will be remembered at a personal level. Absolutely. So I say that at a personal level, without prejudice to all the legal issues and public you know, interest issues that the government will be pushing.
Yes, while it is important to, you know, applaud the enforcement of Lagos State, I think one thing I took away from Gbadebo's statement was the fact that, you know, these residents, you know, have nowhere to go. They were not given notices by the property owners, and we invite these property owners to come and speak so we understand what really is going on. I mean, there are allegations about fake documents retrieved from the Lagos State Office of Procurement and all of that, and I think it's very important that compensation should be awarded to some of these residents who had no idea. Because like I said, back in 2022, over 300 people died in Nigeria from flash floods. But we also need some sort of empathy for these residents. Let's take another story. On Tuesday, a mother took to social media to seek justice after her daughter's school sent her child home alone after arriving late. The incident has sparked a lively debate online, with many users expressing concern over the safety and well-being of the child. Some argue that the school's decision to send the child home was an inappropriate form of discipline, while others believe that there may be more to the story. Let's take a look.
I have every right to use my phone for whatever, so they just literally kicked me out of the school building, and now they're saying I cannot make a video with my phone. Oh, guy, if you touch my phone, you will not like what I'll do to you. If you touch my phone, you will not like what I'll do to you. Because all of you here, don't touch my phone. Do not touch my phone. Favour came to school by 8:30. Favour came to school by 8:30, and they threw her out of school. They don't know if I'm at home or not. Not for any reason, because she came late. If I was the one that drove Favour to school by 8:30, I'm definitely sure they will not throw her out of the school. If she came with the school bus, sometimes the school bus gets to school by 10. They will definitely not throw her out of the school. And I called the principal on the phone immediately Favour got home, because I was shocked. I was about leaving the house, and then she said the man started insulting me on the phone and cutting the phone off. I have to come physically, and he's doing the same thing. This school, Book Workshop College, Onilewura in Ikotu, is a school.
All right, I tried to see if there's a statement from that Book Workshop College, but I haven't seen any statement yet. This was trending all over social media yesterday. Dr. Abate, I feel like you wanted to say something right away.
Okay, I was just going to say that, look, schools, teachers, they have a duty of care. Yes. They stand in loco parentis. And parents, when they see that there is a breach of that responsibility, you know, parents would feel really bad. Yeah, the woman reacting, whose video was shown there, was even a bit restrained. Some other mother would have, you know, taking the laws into our hands.
Oh, well, you know, did you see the entire clip?
Well, I didn't. Oh. I'm commenting on what I saw. Yeah. I mean, we've had cases of some parents going to a school to go and beat up teachers for having the temerity to beat a child that they are spending so much to train. However, the issue here is...
No, they did not beat the child. They sent the child...
No, I'm giving you another example that had happened before. Now, in this particular case, two emphases, lateness. Okay, even when a child comes late, right, and you want to send the child home, the other emphasis is alone. Yeah. What is the age of that child? What if anything happens to that child going home alone? That's the part of it that I cannot understand. What most schools would do under the circumstances, if they want to insist on discipline, that the child must be punctual, they will call the mother or they will call the father. So in this case, this woman was not contacted. You just send the child away. That's a bit, that's a part of it that many will not understand. However, there are two sides to a story. That school has been mentioned publicly. You know, book workshop, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I think the school also has a responsibility
yes,
to come and tell their own side of the story. You know, what exactly happened and why would any teacher send the child home alone? And after the mother complained, what steps did the school take, either in terms of an apology or reassuring the woman, and what structure are they putting in place to ensure that students don't come late and that they are never sent home alone? In this Lagos, where there are kidnappers, you send an innocent child home alone?
It's unfortunate.
I'm looking at the video. The fuller video is actually embarrassing to the school.
It is, yes.
So, Dr. Bat, in terms of what their response was, if they apologized, doesn't look like these people were ready to apologize. It looked like they were spoiling for a fight. In fact, there were times whereby the principal and then other teachers came to try and grab the phone from her and almost manhandling, the parent. There are a lot of emotions involved when it comes to a child. Number one, this is her child. A lot of things would have gone through her mind in terms of what could have happened to her by them sending him or her, actually, I don't know if he's male or female, home because the child came late. So female, came late to school. If anything happened, what would the school say? Oh, we apologize. You cannot, it is a very, very difficult thing for them to have done, and I might even stretch irresponsible for the school to do. Now, we don't know the backstory in defense of the school, whether they'd been warning repeatedly that, if you come late to school, this is going to be the consequence, we're going to send you back home, if they said it a number of times. However, he still talks about this. We've had too many issues, and it's not just about Book Workshop College. Other schools that we've had challenges about the safety of children in school, and even the way they handle children off the premise of the schools. Maybe we need a bit more, a closer oversight of schools, especially maybe the lower end private schools and even public schools, to be fair, whereby some teachers, principals will get away with almost anything and protect their image rather than protecting the interest of the child. As was said, no statements yet from the school. Yes. I hope that the Parent Teachers Association, we need to talk about that a bit more, the PTA, should come together and hold the school to account. Yes. Why did they take that action? And if there needs to be an apology, let them do it and not only try to cover their school and protect the image of their school at the detriment of a child.
Well said, Ayo. All right, we'll take another story. Civil society groups, including Budget, have urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to direct the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to release journalist Daniel Ojukwu, who has been held in police custody since May 1st. Ojukwu, who is a reporter with the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, was arrested in Lagos and has reportedly been held without access to his family or legal representation for over 48 hours. He was detained over an alleged violation of the Cyber Crime Prohibition Act 2015 for a report he authored on contract procurement by the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, headed by OjyOkpe Adefulire, a former Lagos State Deputy Governor. Ojukwu's continued detention has been condemned as a violation of his fundamental human rights, with rights groups calling for his immediate release. I believe that there is some sort of protest, right? I mean, it happened already, I believe, in Abuja. I don't know if you saw that flyer, if we have that, the flyer.
The flyer was
circulating yesterday.
So the thing about this is about press freedom.
Yes.
Guaranteed under Section 22.
Yeah, there it is.
Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution, Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution, Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which means that, look, people have the right to impart information, to receive information. When you reduce from these rights, it looks like censorship. It looks like harassment of journalists. It looks like media repression. Now, it's most unfortunate that this has happened around World Press Freedom Day. It was picked up on May 1. World Press Freedom Day was on May 3.
Yes.
On May 3, we were saying, oh, the Tinubu administration has not been attacking journalists compared to maybe what we saw under the Abacha government or even under the Buhari administration. But now, we have two major cases now. We have that of Segun Olatunji of First News, general editor of First News, who was detained over his story that he wrote. He was even, put in chains and put in an underground cell. It was as a result of outrage that he was eventually released. Now we understand that the owners of First News have had to apologize to the chief of staff to the president. And the aggrieved journalist resigned in protest. That if the media house that he works for cannot stand up for him, then he will leave. Then you have this case of Daniel Ojukwu, who was also picked up and he disappeared. His family did not even know his whereabouts. His family, in fact, had to declare him missing. In his own case, too, he's said to have written a story about procurement with regard to the office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, former Deputy Governor in Lagos State, Mrs. Adefulire. Now, and Muyiwa Adejobi, the police spokesman, comes, he says, oh, it's Cybercrime Prohibition Act. Did you say 2015?
2015,
no,
yes.
that act has been amended. The operative one is Cybercrime Prohibition and Prevention Act of 2024. So if Adejobi doesn't know it, please let him quickly update his knowledge of the law. Now, this was the same police PRO who quoted this same Cybercrime Act with regard to the lady, the Mrs. Okoli.
Yes.
The Mrs. Okoli.
Yes.
The Erisco
yes.
case.
Okoli.
In that particular
issue,
case,
yeah.
he was saying she has violated cybercrime. No, they should be careful. The police and the other law enforcement agencies. They should be careful not to turn the Cybercrime Prevention Act into another decree too. Because any little thing now, there's a Cybercrime Act. And it's this same Cybercrime Act that they are using one of the sections to collect our 0.5% with regard to electronic transfers. It should not become another decree too. However, those budget and others who have called for the immediate release of Daniel Ojukwu, I think they should be listened to. And the president, personally, should take an interest in the scope of media freedom. He is a member of the constituency as a publisher across board. It should not be under his watch that a man who is an employer of journalists, in his name, journalists will be harassed, the media will be repressed. If anything, the Nigerian Press Organization has been asking President Tinubu to support the media establishment, to make the responsibility of the media easier to discharge in terms of support for democracy. Harassing journalists is out of the question.
Yes. All right. We'll take our final story. In the United States, where congratulations are in order for Oluwami Dosunmu Ogunbi, who made history as the first Nigerian and the first woman of African descent to bag a PhD in robotics at the University of Michigan. Speaking during her convocation ceremony, Oluwami said that she got into the College of Engineering because she was inspired by the funny hats PhD holders wear and wants to be remembered as the University of Michigan's first Black woman to get a PhD in robotics. Let's take a look.
My name is Oluwami Dosunmu Ogunbi, or just Wami. And if you do not know me right now, that is okay. But I want you to remember me as the University of Michigan's first Black woman to get a PhD in robotics. I am here because I really wanted to wear this funny hat. That is no joke. At my high school graduation, I saw one of my teachers in fancier regalia than the rest. In classic neurodivergent fashion, I hyper-fixated on wanting to wear the same funny hat that she was wearing. When someone told me that I needed to get a PhD to wear it, I said, cool, I guess I'm going to get a PhD then. What are the field options? They responded, well, you are the child of Nigerian immigrants, so your options are doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So I thought about it. Well, I can't be doctor because I hate blood. Lawyer is out because I would pass out if I ever had to talk in front of a large crowd of people. So I guess that just leaves engineer.
Congratulations to Oluwami. I think it's so important to be inspired as a child. I mean, can you imagine that inspiration? Just looking at the, her hat, and now she's doing so well, and she's gotten so many accolades and awards. Congratulations to her. I wish we had a lot of time to speak on her achievements, but I guess that's all we have for today. Thank you very much for your contributions on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.